Welcome to the state of the Bellator Nation. I'm your host, TeepToTheJunk, and we're going to be unpacking everything that's happening in the middleweight bracket of the Bellator organization. Hold yourselves in readiness. Let's reach for those grapes and make some wine. This past week, middleweight champion Rafael Lovato Jr. revealed that he had a brain condition that would sideline him indefinitely. In light of this, we're going to need some kind of action going on with the middleweight title. And there are 4 key fighters involved in this sort of web of intrigue at the top of 185 pounds. First would be Anatoly Tokov, protege of the great Fedor Emelianenko. He's 29-3, he's won 5 straight. And honestly, in a sporting sense, this is the number 1 or 2 contender easily. The next factor would be Douglas Lima, who's the welterweight champion, and he's won 3 straight, and he's been talking about possibly going for middleweight gold. I would say he's the weakest of the contenders to move up because middleweight isn't a thin bracket anymore, but there is an argument for him, and he wants to try for that champ glory. Another factor here would be Gegard Mousasi, who has lost 1 of his last 10 fights to the champ, soon-to-be former champ, Lovato. And he rebounded from his loss to Lovato with a win over Machida, who himself had built up a streak, including retiring Chael Sonnen with the Dragon. And Mousasi just signed a brand new contract, so the odds of him having a big fight are 100%. The question is, what kind of big fight? And fighting for the vacant title, when the only guy in recent years to beat him is the champ, who's going to have to be sidelined for we don't know how long. There's a great argument for him as a contender. That brings us to the 4th of the factors. That will be John Crimson Salter, who only has 1 loss himself in the last however many years, and that would be to Lovato Jr. himself. So Salter was contender in the division that became Mousasi's division when he moved over and beat Carvalho. And so, really, now that the guy who's beaten Mousasi and beaten Salter is inactive, they really are the top 2 guys in the division, unless we weigh what Tokov has done above that. So that becomes a texture. And of course, there's Lima on the side looking for a champ opportunity. But yesterday, Lima came out talking about Mousasi moving down to 170, I suppose, to challenge him for his welterweight title. But when Mousasi was discussing maybe going to welterweight one day, it was in the context of a retirement fight, because he wasn't going to move that far down and then come back up and try and put the weight back on. So that seems unlikely at welterweight, but at middleweight is a possibility, because Lima's built himself a big name, and that would be a giant fight against a young legend. Mousasi's 34, Lima's 32. They're both right in their primes, and it times out beautifully as far as what to do at welterweight, because then you can have Michael Venom Page fight the number 1 contender, Lorenz Larkin. The winner of that has a lot of momentum to come into welterweight. Downside would be the risking Lima getting destroyed like Rory was by Mousasi, and then coming back down as the champion, coming off a loss at a higher bracket, but coming off a loss. So that's something I'm sure they're thinking about, the overall momentum of the athletes. My best guess is that Lima fights at welterweight, defending his title, possibly versus Larkin or the Ruth Amazov winner from Bellator 239, and then that Tokov and Mousasi fight for the title. Tokov being Fedor's protege, and Mousasi having an association with Fedor from back in the day, being this fighter that built an incredible resume at a very young age. So now he's 34, but he already has 46 wins. And so the timing is beautiful for Tokov. Mousasi, maybe do it in the Netherlands, or stick it on the Bader Nemkov card, Fedor's light heavyweight protege. Vadim Nemkov is getting a title shot against Ryan Master Bader in May. You could stick it on that card. You do either, but if you do it on a Euro card, say in the Netherlands, then you can co-main event Fabian Edwards versus Mousasi's protege, Costello Van Steenis. Edwards is coming off a win over Mike Shipman, and they're sort of battling to see who's the best of Western Europe's middleweights, at least within the Bellator umbrella. And so Van Steenis-Edwards pretty much settles that question, and that could position the so far undefeated, amateur or pro, undefeated Fabian Edwards for a big fight, a number one contender fight, or a fight that leads to a number one contender fight. So those are the factors. There's some other guys too. Austin Vanderford, he's undefeated, and he's pretty much ready for a high-level fight, so I'm wondering if maybe they have him fight Mike Shipman. Shipman trains out of London Shoot Fighters alongside MVP and some other fighters who are in Bellator. And Vanderford's on the rise, and he's yet to taste defeat, so honestly, even though Shipman isn't coming off a win, that's a good, strong opponent. Build the American versus the British guy, and makes a lot of sense, especially if they have Mousasi fighting for a title. Do that in the Netherlands, it will be the biggest Euro card to date. And so that's pretty much what's happening in middleweight. If I think of anything else, I will tag it on the end. Until next time.